Greetings, dear students and dear viewers. Continuing with the series on United States Medical Licensing Examination, today we shall recapitulate as to how to apply for USMLE. Also, we'll focus on why USMLE examination is important for residency in USA. Thirdly, we'll discuss the content of USMLE steps. Fourthly, we will discuss how to prepare for this examination. And of course, finally, we'll wind it up by saying that this is your gateway to getting residency and getting a license to practice in USA. Now, recapitulating, United States Medical Licensing Examination, in short USMLE, has been co-sponsored by the Federation State Board of Medical Education and the National Board of Medical Examination of USA. For all foreign medical school students or all foreign medical graduates, you have to register yourself on ECFMG website, where you will get your identification number, that is ECFMG or USMLE identification number. Then you apply on Form 186, which shall be verified either electronically by your school being a member of the ECFMG website portal, or through physical means by submission of Form 183, which has to be signed by your dean and sent to Philadelphia. Having said this, you will then get a schedule permit, and based upon the schedule permit you apply for the examination. So what are the examinations that you are going to apply for? USMLE Step 1, Step 2. These two examinations can be given in any sequence. You can appear for USMLE Step 2 Clinical Knowledge, or you can appear for USMLE Step 1, whichever way you want. There is no mandatory sequencing. Only for Step 3 you have to clear your Step 1, Step 2 and get ECFMG certified. So coming to USMLE Step 1 now. USMLE Step 1 has got focus on your basic sciences subjects. That is the subjects that you cover in your first 2 years of your MD program, or the subjects that you cover in your MBBS program in India after the first 3 years. So you can then appear for USMLE Step 1. For USMLE Step 2, you can appear after completing your clinical rotations or after graduating, whichever way you want it, but it is better to appear after graduating. That will give you more time to prepare for the clinical sciences examination, which is based upon your clinical knowledge. So we will focus first on Step 1. Which all subjects are covered in USMLE Step 1? Now the subjects covered here are embryology, histology, gross anatomy, then your physiology, your pathology, microbiology, biochemistry and nutrition, behavioral sciences, your general pathology, and to certain extent communication and interpersonal skills question based. These are the normal subjects which you actually cover in your first 2 years of MBBS or in your basic sciences. You should know how to interpret graphs and tabulated versions of various biochemical findings or biochemical values. You should also be able to correlate your basic mechanisms, processes with clinical application. Just a correlation is required. The question will be on case study based, or it will be a vignette, problem based vignette, which will tell you about a patient presented to you in some form or the other and give you around 4 to 5 or maybe more options. You have to choose the most correct option. So if you have a good understanding of your basic sciences, you will have no issue in dealing with the questions. So read your primary textbooks carefully. What are the other resources that you need? There are two more resources which you should have in your possession when you want to appear for USMLE Step 1. The first one is USMLE First Aid Book. Now this First Aid Book will give you a gist of high yield questions or high yield material that can be translated into questions in the USMLE Step 1 examination. So have First Aid Book ready with you and a UWorld question bank. There are two basic things which you must have apart from your normal textbooks that have been prescribed. Because please remember one thing, these two are, as the name suggests, one is a question bank and the other is a first aid, which covers all the complex issues in concise form. So they are helpful to you for memorizing the concepts and for understanding the relationship between concepts. But they will not give you in-depth knowledge about the subject. That knowledge is gained in your MBBS first year and second year or in your basic sciences program. So please remember that you should be well versed with your basic textbooks and then use these as aids to your learning process, which will help you to fasten the learning process. Your first aid book is organized in two formats. The first format is, the first part of the first aid book is general principles. The general principles focus on general pathology, general pharmacology, it focuses on behavioral sciences, it will give you some portion related to biochemistry, microbiology, immunology, because these are applicable to the entire body system. The part 2 of the first aid book is based upon your systems. For example, if you have cardiovascular system, then it will tell you about the embryology of cardiovascular system, the gross anatomy, the histology, the physiology. It will tell you about the pathology and will tell you about the pharmacology that is related to cardiovascular system. Similarly, respiratory system, GI system, so it will be done in a systematic manner. All systems will be covered. So, USMLE Step 1, the resources are, once again, I repeat, your basic textbooks, your first aid, USMLE first aid and UWorld. In case you want some inputs on pathology, then I would recommend Fundamentals of Pathology called Pathoma. And for ethics, there are 100 cases on ethics by Conrad Fisher. You can utilize that book. More than this, you don't require any more material. Please don't waste your money on accumulating study material which you probably may not get time to read. Also remember one thing, there is no scoring this time. In Step 1, as I told you earlier, there is no scoring in Step 1. Therefore, it is only pass or fail. Hence, please focus on these materials and these resources. Do not accumulate additional material. What will be the exam like? There will be a maximum of 40 questions. No more than 40 questions. It can be less. And the total number of questions in these blocks will be not more than 280. It can be less but will never exceed 280. So these are the questions that you have to attempt. Each question will have several options. Some questions can be audio based, some questions may be video based, some questions will have questions in tabulated forms, some questions will have questions in graphical forms, some questions will be based upon pictures or photographs. So you have to see those, understand those. What is most important? Your examination strategy. Your examination strategy should be simple. Read the question carefully. Understand the question. Try to get an answer without reading the choices given to you. If you can do that, you can easily pinpoint which is the correct answer. Supposing you cannot do that, under those circumstances, I recommend go through the options. You will find certain options that clearly incorrect, eliminate them immediately. Then you have some options which could be correct. If you know the correct option, there is no problem. If you do not know the correct option, you can take an intelligent guess. In USMLE, there is no negative marking. So, any answer you do not attempt is taken as a wrong answer. It is better to attempt than not to attempt. So, try to attempt all your answers. You get a 45 minutes break and the break time is recorded. So, please utilize that break in an effective and in an intelligent manner. Go through the USMLE information bulletin, they will tell you about the breaks. This is as far as step 1 is concerned. Okay, now let's move on and go to step 2. What does step 2 focus on? Step 2 will focus on content on medicine, surgery, psychiatry, pediatrics, obstetrics and gynecology, and epidemiology, as well as portion related to community medicine. Some legal aspects of medicine and patient safety, and of course communication, interpersonal communication skills will also be examined. Most of the questions will come from medicine, a small percentage will come from surgery and allied subjects, and remaining will be followed by other subjects. This block contains a maximum of 316 questions. You have 8 blocks. In each block you have a maximum of 40 questions. Again, a maximum of 40 questions. It's a 9-hour examination. So in 9 hours you have 8 blocks. Each block is of 60 minutes. Each block will contain 40 questions, a maximum of 40 questions, and a total number of questions will not exceed 316. There will be another 45 minutes break, and of course there will be a 15 minutes optional tutorial. This is how the second step examination will be conducted. What are the resources here required? The resources here required are again the same: first aid for step 2 and UWorld question bank, and maybe some Anki which is available. You can practice some tests. I would recommend there are certain tests put up by the National Board of Medical Examination and some tests, practice tests by the USMLE themselves. There are some sample test papers for both step 1 and step 2 available to you on the website of USMLE. You can use those sample tests to prepare and assess yourself as to how good your preparation is. During the test day or on the test day, all you require to carry with you is your identification, which could be an unexpired passport, your driving license, or any other government ID or national ID like Aadhaar card that you have to take along with you. With this, you have to carry your schedule permit, where you have been scheduled for the examination in that particular prometric center. These will be verified there on ground and checked. Nothing else needs to be carried. Everything else is to be put in a locker that will be provided to you in the prometric center. For any writing work, a laminated writing material will be provided to you, which you have to return back before you leave. Every time you exit the center for a break, when you come in, you have to be again scrutinized for your identity, as well will be screened for not carrying any other items. Maybe the security will open your pockets also to see there is nothing in your pockets. So please be careful, because inappropriate behavior may result in debarring you from the examination. So be careful about these issues for the examinations. I will not discuss too much about step 3, because step 3 is to be done during your residency. We recommend that do step 3 after completion of the first year of your residency program. Step 3 consists of 2 steps, which are foundation in individual practice and advances in clinical medicine. These you can appear later on while doing your residency. Now coming to after step 1 and step 2 is completed, what else you need to do to get a residency in USA? To get a residency in USA, you need to get ECFMG certification done. So you apply for ECFMG certification after completing step 2. After that, you can apply for interviews to various universities for which they will charge you some money. Once you apply for interviews, you get interview calls, and after the interview call has been given, based upon your performance in the interview, based upon your medical school performance, based upon your USMLE performance and your curriculum writing, whatever CVs you have prepared for yourself, all these 4 factors will be taken into consideration, and then residency will be granted to you. What you need to know is that you have to study hard. You have to remain focused. Remember, it's a very incredible journey that you are on. And to become an incredibly good doctor, you need to put your 100% efforts. And that effort will come only if you have 100% knowledge. And this knowledge will come only if somebody guides you correctly. So we have lot of areas, lot of people who can guide you, but beware from wrong guidance. So please see only authenticated videos. Please feel free to share your comments, to share any questions that you have got. Once we get your comments and questions, we'll come back to you with a fresh video answering your concerns and answering your questions. This was just an outline for all of you to understand how to apply, how to prepare, and how to appear for the examination. For preparation, please remember, read your original textbooks, read the first aid, and solve questions in UWorld. If you get time, do practice sessions with USMLE website. There are certain interactive question answers available to you. Some sample question papers are available to you. Reply to them, answer them, see your results, see your performance, identify your weaknesses, relook at your weaknesses, and then appear for the examination. I am sure if you follow this methodology, success is going to be yours. Remember, you can, you shall, and you will succeed. What is the difference in doing PG from India and doing residency in USA? There is some difference. Here you have to appear for NEET PG examination, or maybe in the future next examination, which will be conducted over 3 days. In next examination, NEET PG is an entrance examination which we all know is conducted nowadays. USMLE is a step 1, step 2 examination for your residency. Once you get your residency in USA, you will ask me how much money we have to pay to do that residency, to do PG in USA. You don't have to pay a single penny to do your PG in USA, to do your residency in USA. Unlike in India, there you get paid, it is taken as a job. You get paid for doing the residency. So depending upon the area in which you have got your residency, you will be paid salaries worth $5,000 to $6,000 to $7,000 per month. Will be sufficient to take care of you and your small family's requirements in the US. So in US you get paid for your residency, unlike in India where you pay for your post-graduation. Then you have ample opportunities in US for doing your fellowship. You can do your super specialization after your residency, complete your specialization, complete your USMLE Step 3, and then please come back to India. This is your country. This is where you have to serve. I know many of you would like to stay on there. My appeal to you is come back to this country. You have a lot of opportunities. Complete your PG, get access to PG. India PG seats are less. US residency seats are more. Almost 25% of the seats in US are occupied today by the international medical graduates, out of which 30% are Indian graduates. So be a part of that system, acquire education, acquire qualification, but come back to your country and be a part of our Honorable Prime Minister Ayushman Bharat scheme. Thank you very much. So much for the time being. God bless you all. All the best and Jai Hind.